So, hello and welcome to a new stream in which I'm surviving on an island in Indev. Just like always, I've been doing some work off stream. Well, there are a few things that I did. Firstly, I was working on some custom trees. As you can see, there are some custom trees over here and on the other side as well, or on that shoreline over there, and also some regular trees. I've also been doing some planning. As you can see, I've marked out a path using some cobblestone, and I've also used the cobblestone to mark out where I'd like to sort of place some buildings. I'd like to make some sort of farms here and some other stuff. So I'd like to build a reed farm kind of over here, a cactus farm over here, a storage place for the sugarcane and the cactus, and like a sapling room. And aside from these things, I have also been sort of working on that area, on that shoreline. Let me just show you. Basically what I've been doing is that I've added some stone to the shoreline to improve how it looks. And I've also added some pointy rocks to around it to kind of make it look a bit more hostile. The reason why I decided to do it is because I felt like it kind of looked nice to make part of the shoreline kind of inaccessible. So basically you can't access it by boat, unlike the other parts. So let me just go there and show you. And there is, as you can see, we got like a whole bunch of pointy rocks around this part of the island, which kind of make it look sort of inaccessible, you know, kind of hostile, like you aren't really supposed to be here, which I think it looks quite nice along with the like stone on the edge, which I've kind of extended like one block further so that it wouldn't be too steep. I think it looks nice this way. By the way, with this out of the way, I'm not going to go back. Also, I forgot the music. Also, one more thing that I'd like to mention about these trees, that they are still unfinished. I grew them. It took me like about roughly the whole 2 weeks in between these streams, but I didn't really have time to like sculpt them properly, so they're still kind of square. That's something that I'm gonna take care of sometime after this stream, so I don't think I'll have time to do it in this stream. Anyway, this brings me on to like what I plan to do in this stream, which is to work over in that area that I've shown at the beginning of the stream. I would like to work on this path and on the buildings that will be there. So the first thing that I'm gonna need to do is to dig out the path, because I would like to make it in the same style as this path is, which means like stone slabs and stone in the middle. So firstly I'm going to dig it out. Hopefully I won't die while doing this. I'll also need to remember to make frequent backups, and here I've got ice. Here I can see some coal. So I think I'm gonna try to dig it out later when I have the time, since I need as much coal as possible to work on like different things. I mainly want to like smelt stone, since I want to use it as a build material in the future in like large quantities. And get out of my way. Also, another thing that I've got planned is to have a sort of dock to the over here to the left of the path. I plan to build a ship there and like one or two ships, I think. I haven't yet properly decided like what size will they be and what style. Maybe I'll make like in different sizes. And that also means I'll probably have to get rid of that island over there since it's kind of in the way. I didn't really want to get rid of it, but I might. I most likely will. And also one thing that I had forgotten to mention is that at the end of this path there is there'll be another building, that being a rail station, which will be one of the ways to access this island. It will be a more scenic way to access it, since I'll also be using since I also have a portal on this island, which will be much faster, but the using rails will give me a more scenic route. Anyway, as I've mentioned in the previous episode, I've like written down a list of things that I like to do in this world, and once I do all of them, I'm going to move on from this world, since I don't want to spend too much time in this world, because I feel like if I started like spending too much time, then I might like not want to move on, and I might get like burnout and such. So I'd say it's better to not move on too late. Anyway, I feel like this stream probably won't be particularly interesting, since currently I don't really have anyone to talk to. No one is here. There was apparently one viewer, but they didn't stick around. Anyway, we are almost done with this part of the path, but there is still more to go, as the path splits into like several parts. For example, part of the paths goes in that direction, so I'm gonna need to dig it out as well, but for now I'm gonna do this one section, since I also need to decide how I want the landscape to be. I need to do a bit of landscaping. And I feel like I haven't really planned properly for that. Anyway, as you can see, the sun is setting. So what I think I'm gonna do is quickly like go home and store the things, since I feel like it's better to like go and store things instead of like spending time outside during the night. Although it might be better to place down niches and that I have and place and store the things there, but I'd rather go home and store it at home. I shouldn't have done that. That was stupid of me. And I also need to be careful not to click like stuff and right click stuff while holding food, since that would consume the food item that I'm holding. Anyway, that is now out of the way, and I haven't really spent all that much time at home, so now it's time to. And I forgot to grab a shovel because I broke a shovel and didn't grab another one, so while I'm here I'm also going to grab some more materials so that I can craft some shovel over at the build site. And I also grab some wheat so that I can craft myself some bread in case I run out. Anyway, aside from working on this island, I've been also doing some other stuff related to my YouTube. I've been working on a video for Infdev Plus. Since I've designed a gold farm, which isn't particularly efficient, but it does work as a gold farm, and I'll be uploading that. Well, I'll be making that video public tomorrow. If I remember correctly, the farm produces about 10 gold ingots per hour, which is very little compared to the gold farms that people make in vanilla Minecraft, but I'd say it's good enough. It's literally the best gold farm there is, at least that I know of. And for a second I thought that something is... well, a star mob is approaching me, but it's actually a sheep. Scared me a bit, I must say. Now let's see, I need to craft some sticks and then some shovels. And why did I craft more sticks when I already had some? Well, no matter. I'll have more sticks since I'll definitely need the sticks in the future. But anyway, for now I'm going to focus on digging out the path and just working with it in general. Anyway, aside from working on a video about a gold farm, I've also been preparing for it to make a video, well, another episode for the Experiencing Infdev Plus series, since I've got quite a a long backlog to go through because it's been a while since I've been in that world. So quite a few versions have been released since I made the last episode, so I plan to use that episode to cover the things that have been added while I haven't been playing on that world. And aside from these things, I've also made a website on the NeoCities domain, or however I should describe it. I'm currently working. I've made that website on April the 10th and have been working on it since. My plan is to use the website to talk about things I do on my YouTube channel. So that includes, well, that means mainly talking about the long-term series, like the Experiencing Infdev Plus series and this current project that I'm working on, where I play on the classic world and on this Indev world. So yeah, just talk about stuff I do on this channel in detail, maybe talk about future plans and such. So I think I'll soon be posting about it on my channel. Basically the idea is that, well, it's quicker to sort of update a website whenever I add something new to my world than it is to make a video about it. So if you want to know more about these series, then you can just check out the website to know more, since that will probably more, well, some frequently updated whenever I have something to say. Hopefully that makes sense. So for example, I have worked on a site where I talk about the classic world, where I got a map that's split into sections, or, well, I say map, it's a bit of an attempt at a map. I've got it split into different section, and I'll talk about the buildings that are in the different sections in more details. That way I don't have to talk about them in keep talking about them in videos, and it's just easier than making a new video, as I said. But of course I still plan to do some world tours, but those will be of course less frequent as they require more effort. Also, I mustn't forget to make or to save often. I think I'll do it once every half an hour, just like in the previous episode, because doing saving frequently has already saved me some time in the previous episode, because if you watched it, you might remember that I died, but I didn't lose too much progress as because I saved not too long before dying. I think I only lost quarter of an hour of progress, so that's not too much. At least not when I compare it to episode 6, where I lost 2 hours of progress. Well, not quite 2 hours of progress, but it wasn't too far off. Anyway, right now I'm trying to think about what I want to do with this section. And what I think I'm gonna do is kind of expand the dirt, get rid of this log, make the tree shorter, get out of my way, and just kind of expand it like this. Basically, my plan is kind of landscape it only a bit, that way the buildings are kind of indented into the terrain. So for example, out here it will be more in the open, but over here it may be a bit more buried. A better example of that would be this place, since over here will be the lowest part of the building probably, since that is how low the terrain goes, the lowest point. But if I go to the other side, and the terrain goes quite a bit higher, so this wall will be kind of buried and you won't really see it. And for that I'm gonna need to dig out this terrain. Seems like there will be an entrance on this side and an entrance on that side, which will be higher. And the sort of space in the building will be sort of at this height. I might also make either 2 floors or like a staircase that will go over to the second entrance. I haven't yet properly decided on how I want to do it. But anyway, now it is time to continue working on the path. So what I'm gonna do is make it go like this, take out the dirt a bit. So hopefully make it look a bit better. And I feel like since I've talked about the sort of website, I could talk about it in a bit more sort of greater detail. Basically, with the sort of current web's layout, there was like the main website, which is like the thing that you see when you enter it, where I plan to talk a bit about my channel and like the various series that I do, on like the interesting ones, not everything that I do. And talk about them in great, well, in some detail. And the sort of more long-term series will have got like their own website. So the main website will have some summaries for the long-term series and some info about the other interesting series. The long-term series will have got their own website. So for example, this Polyworld project will have got like a website about it, where I just talk about it in more detail, and then I'll have like websites for the different phases in which I play this. So for example, there will be a website dedicated to the classic city that I'm currently taking a break from. As I've said, I already kind of started working on it, and there's like a map with like the different the map is divided into different sections, and you can like click the different sections which take you to some text which describes the section in a greater detail, along with some screenshots that are taken. By the way, I'm currently going home because I need to get some more stone slabs so that I can actually finish the path, and I also do these pork chops while I'm at it. But anyway, as I said, there will be a site dedicated to like classic, for example, with the information. So I said there will be information about the areas with the buildings, but aside from these, there will be like information about what I did in that phase, what are my plans and such. Maybe I'll also post my thoughts on like playing in that phase. And I'm also thinking of like making some short walkthrough videos, or videos like walk through each section that I'll like have in on the YouTube, and I'll like have an embedded video player on the website, so you could watch it if you want to so you could see like the inside of the buildings. But if you don't want to, then you can just look at the screenshots. I've decided to kind of make the screenshots compressed, since the place where I've got the websites allows only 1 GB of storage when you've got the free plan, which is what I've got. So I want to make sure that the images don't take up too much space, so I can have as much, so I can upload as much things as many things I want to, just in case. But I still got like the original uncompressed images stored, so that if I want to, I can upload the images in higher detail. But for now, they'll remain in like low detail, so that I can have a lot of them. Since I feel like in this case, quantity will be better than quality, that way you can view the things, the builds from many different angles, because I feel like having the ability to view things from different angles is more important than being able to like zoom into the images and seeing the details. Because if you want the details, now I can like do just a video, and then you can like play it. since I feel like there probably won't be that many players who like want to zoom into a picture for like greater details. But anyway, aside from like a classic website, I'll of course have a Indev website which I've started working on a bit. Then when later on I'll have an site dedicated to like the Infdev phase of my Pearl world, and then alpha, beta, release. But for release, I'm gonna need to probably, I definitely need to split release into like different phases, since release is like the longest phase that's still ongoing. So maybe I'll split it release into like release 1.0, release 1.1, release 1.2. That will be like a one phase, then another phase will be 1.3 to who knows when, and such. And like each phase of release would have its own website where I talk about it in detail, about the builds, plans, and such. But aside from the Pearl World project, the other project that will have a dedicated website will be the Experiencing Indev series, since I've also worked on it quite a bit. Since it's the main Indev series that I've been working on since the mod started development. After all, I started the series in a development build of 0.1. Anyway, it's been 33 minutes since I've started the stream, and I haven't even yet finished the paths. I kind of expected things to go faster, but I guess maybe they went slower since I've talked quite a bit. I think I won't be able to finish any of the buildings in this stream, and I think I'm gonna make the music a bit quieter. Anyway, as I said, I don't think I'll be able to finish any of the buildings in this stream, but I'll at least get started most likely. And also I'll save once I'm done placing in the stones into the holes. And there we go, so I'm gonna just quickly save. And now it should be fine if I die, since I won't lose that much progress. But we now the next thing is placing some slabs along the path. And what is that zombie doing? Is it trying to reach me? It's not doing a very good job. Well, I guess it kind of reached me in the end, so I guess it was successful. Well, that's annoying. I'm gonna have to fix it later. Anyway, one thing that I wonder about this series is that if I'll be able to like persevere, because I like to like update through the different versions, so just like try them out, since it's something that I never really tried before, and I feel like it would be a cool thing to do. But there's the question is, well, I don't know if I'll have like the perseverance to actually do it. I feel like I could be able to do it, since I've been able to deal with like Indev and Classic so far, despite their limitations, despite their bugs and such. So I feel like I should be able to deal with Infdev and stay motivated to play like Infdev or the early release versions and such. But of course, early release is still far off in the future, since I like to take my time. After all, I've already spent like 3.5 months in Indev, and I'm still not finished. So who knows how long will I spend like in Infdev, in alpha, in beta, since my plan is to kind of update whenever I feel like it, rather than like using some deadline for updating. For example, like updating once every week. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what the future brings me and how far do I get along with the how far do I get with this series. Anyway, as you can see, I've managed to collect another stack of gunpowder, so I'm gonna quickly store it away and then craft some more stone slabs. Let's see, I think it's here. I just wish I had some signs actually labeled. The best thing that I currently can do to like label stuff is to use paintings. which didn't really work that well. Uh, anyway, sorry about that, but I feel like I should be able to make it far in this series since I try to take things more casually and kind of do what I want to instead of just doing things that I find sort of cool. So, like for example, like how you might go into the internet, see some cool thing, cool build, and think to yourself that like you would actually want to build it. But when you actually like try to build it, you realize it's kind of a lot of effort and it's not really your thing. So I kind of trying to avoid it and instead like work on things that I actually want to work on instead of things that I think I should work on. Basically, I'm just trying to take things more casually instead of trying to have an sort of ultimate polar world or like or like do all the things that can be done in a polar world. So I'd say it's a bit more casual than maybe like the History in Chunks series by like 3KO. That's quite a cool series, you should check it out. I highly recommend it. And I'm gonna need to decide how I want to landscape this part. So for now I'm gonna place the slabs a bit further away and do this part later. And I forgot to grab any cobblestone. So I think I'm gonna go over to the creeper hole, go underground and dig up some. Thankfully I got an extra pickaxe. Anyway, as you can see, I decided to landscape this part. I think you heard it because I muted my mic since I was kind of sniffling since I got a full nose. Anyway, as I've said, this is the first time that I'm actually playing Indev properly, like properly surviving in a world, instead of like just checking things out, like for example how a floating island looks. I actually played like Indev Plus before playing Indev, which I guess is an interesting choice, you could say. And I think Indev is quite nice in its like simplicity, since I feel like there aren't like 10 expectations on you. Like if you're building something, then I feel like there isn't that much of a pressure to build something that looks that is like uninspiring, since there isn't really all that much that you can actually do in Indev, since it's got such a limited palette. And it just feels like an overall calming experience in its like simplicity. But of course it still could be better, as I feel like the simplicity aren't really like enough for a long-term playthrough. But overall I'd say the experience is better than I had expected. And right now I'm kind of trying to decide how I want things to be. I'm just trying to decide if I want the slabs be next to the grass, or if I want to replace some of the grass with cobblestone. But I don't think I will. And I think this looks good. So now we're just gonna clear away some of the grass around this tree. There we go, much better. And replace some of this with cobblestone. Now enough for this path. I think I'm gonna remove this sapling since that didn't grow and expand the dirt over to here. And kind of keep it at this level. Remove the grass over here to lower it a bit, like so. I feel like I might have made this tree a bit short, but that should be fine. And I'm going to make this tree a bit shorter. And I just noticed that I had was muted the whole time. Anyway, what I was talking about is like expanding this turret so that there will be more space around this tree and around this tree as well. Anyway, now that I've planned out some things, I'm gonna do part of the path. And I'm being attacked. For a second I thought that another skeleton that shot me, but it was actually the same. I was just launched in a weird direction with the knockback of the arrows. And why do I not have any right when I actually need it? Just need to be careful not to get attacked while I'm crafting. And while I'm here, I'm also going to light this place up a bit, so I don't get attacked as much, hopefully. Anyway, seems like no one has joined so far. And I dropped my shovel. Anyway, as I was saying, no one has joined so far, so it is kind of quiet, all quiet on the Western stream. And I just realized that I've placed the sort of step at the wrong place, because over here the path is supposed to split. I don't want it to split at such a weird place. I should have been more careful when planning. Anyway, I think I'm gonna make it Let's see, previously I did it over here. So I think I'm gonna move it over here, which means losing a lot of materials. Well, not a lot, but still, would it be better if I didn't have to do this? As you can see, this is what happens when you don't check out your surroundings properly to see what you are planning to do. Good, seemed like that is an enemy. For a second I thought that something... Oh, Stalmap is approaching me again, but that was just a big... Anyway, sorry for being a bit quiet, but I'm currently not sure what I should talk about, since I'm also kind of trying to focus on the game so I don't get ambushed like I could have been just now. Anyway, that was quite annoying. Got blown up by a creeper and forgot to unmute my mic. Anyway, what I was trying to say while I was muted is that it's quite annoying to have these trees destroyed, since they took quite a lot of effort, and my sword just broke, which I didn't want to happen, since I wanted to save it for the future. Anyway, what I was trying to say about the trees is that I'll either have to regrow them, well, chop them down and grow them again, or like use the leaves from the Indev house to fix them. But that's something I'm gonna decide on off stream. Anyway, it's quite annoying. Well, as I said, it's very annoying that it happened near the trees, since those are the most important things given how annoying they are to grow. I shouldn't have jumped like that, but anyway. I think I'll probably use the leaf blocks since I don't really use them for anything else. So might as well use them during Indev and then cube them once I get the chance in some future versions, maybe Infdev and such. I haven't really done any research into what cubes are possible in the future version, so I'm gonna look into that and keep a single leaf block. And the reason why I decided to harvest the crops is instead of just grabbing some wheat, is I feel like it's better this way. And while I'm here, I'm also going to craft some more slabs along with the sword and also store away some of the dirt, although not all of it, since I might need it for landscaping. Anyway, I feel like I'm making quite a bit less progress than I expected. It's already been a bit over an hour, but I haven't yet finished working on the pathways. And since it's also been over an hour, I'm going to also save now. Also, while crafting, I've decided that I will most likely repair these trees with the leaves that I cut, but that's something that I'll do once I'm gonna do off stream, so I can sort of focus on it, because so that I build them in the shape that I want to kind of save on the leaves that I've cut. Because I feel like if I don't focus on it, then I might end up wasting some leaves, which are a precious resource, since I've only got 100 leaf blocks that I've got from the debug chests, and I can't get any more because it's Indev, of course. Anyway, this explosion was quite annoying, but I think I'll be able to deal with it. I'd definitely be a lot more annoyed if I didn't have the leaves from the debug chests. Which makes me wonder if there are any like dupes in Indev. I don't think there are, but I might look into it so that I can build more stuff maybe. But anyway, now I'm trying to decide how I want to do the landscaping and how I want the path to go. So let's see, I think I'm just gonna make a part of it and focus on like different parts where I know how I want to do things. Because as you can see, this part over here is kind of steep. So what I think I'm gonna do is only make it go up to here. I forgot to grab some more stone. That's quite annoying. I'm gonna need, well, I'll definitely need more stone for this path. But anyway, for now I'm going to focus on these parts of the path where it splits. Since over here I don't really need to worry about like the landscaping. I just keep misplacing these blocks. Anyway, as I've talked about before, when I've like talked about my experience with Indev, it's nice, but this this creeper explosion reminds me of its like flaws, since I don't really have a way to get, well, to obtain the leaves. Would be great if I like could actually obtain them so I could properly build with them and wouldn't have to kind of worry about running out another, but that's to be expected from a game that's like in development. And there's also the fact that like the world is limited size, so we have limited amount of resources. And I've just noticed that this tree was planted too close to the path. It was supposed to be planted here, but I've planted it one block to the side, which means that the leaves are now above these slabs over here. I'm gonna need to do something about it, but that's for later. And this tree is planted on the is also misplaced. That's quite annoying. But now it's not the time to be complaining. I got work to do. Also, did I save? I can't remember right now. Let's see. Did I save? Oh yeah, I did. Good thing. Although maybe I should have used the opportunity to save again. But it's fine. I'm gonna do it later. In like quarter of an hour. For a second I thought that this tree is kind of close as well, but it's actually at the correct place. You know, I'm kind of feeling paranoid after the explosion. I should be more careful so that I don't take so much damage. Also, as I've said, this place will be a cactus farm in the future, and for the reason this will only have like a single entrance from the front, because I plan to have like water streams going from the back to the front that will collect the cactus in the future, so I won't really have like entrances from the other sides. But anyway, now for let's see, I think I'm finished with this part of the path. So I think for the next part I'm going to head over here, kind of do some landscaping in here. But before I start the landscaping, I'm gonna focus on something that I on part of the path where I already know where it should be, if that makes sense. Because over here I kind of have to decide like at which level, how high do I want the path to be, but over here I don't really have to. Except for here where I'm gonna remove a bit of the dirt. Or I'm trying to kind of think. I'm starting to think that I haven't really planned this through properly, or thought this through properly. This place. So I'll most likely have to do some more planning off camera to decide how I want to do various things. Anyway, here is another part of the path. So what I think I'm gonna do is remove some of the dirt to make these two trees taller. I think it should be fine. But I don't have any logs. I'm gonna quickly grab some done. Right now we have got Jang Zone playing, which is kind of thing given how I feel like I've kind of messed things up over here. Maybe this should be good. So next up, I'm gonna remove a bit of dirt in this part. So it's kind of like this. And this is kind of annoying. This is a bit too steep. I'm not sure what I want to do with this. So I'm gonna not think about it right now. Anyway, now that I've finished these parts of the path, I think I've got a better idea of how I want to handle things. So I think this part of the path will be at this side. and it will lower some. I think over here will be a step. You know, I did say that I might not be able to finish any of the buildings in this stream, but now I'm kind of worried that I won't be able to finish this path in this stream. And I've messed up the placement of the stone. That's quite annoying. And I don't know, now I've messed up the placement of these steps. Things are going just great. And now I need to grab more stone as a result from the base. Yeah, it's things like this, things to which I end up wasting more time, and the projects take longer than expected. Give me a second, let me just take a look at something. Anyway, there was nothing, so let me just continue. And I think while I'm here, I'm gonna craft some more slabs as well. 3 stacks should be enough for now. Also, this makes me wonder, when does the stuff slab recipe get updated so that you get 2 slabs per 1 block? Because once that happens, I think I'm gonna use it to craft a lot of stone slabs for the future, for when the recipe changes to, well, to stone, to craft stone slabs instead of cobblestone. I think that happens before the change that makes it so that you get 2 slabs per block. I feel like this part of the path will look a bit weird right now, so I'm gonna have to take care of it later to make it look a bit better. Anyway, now we are once again approaching a tricky part of the terrain. So once again, I'm going to only do part of the path and then go over to the other side to do another part to decide how I want to handle that part of the path. It probably would have been better to work on this path off stream, but as I've said, I've spent a lot of time working on the trees and I want to stream regularly or with a schedule. Although I feel like those two things are kind of the same now that I think about it. But before I handle another part of the path, I first need to place slabs around it. And also I should probably work on this part of path as well before I move on to that part. So let's see, I think the next step will be over here. and over here. And over here. Although, no, I think it will be best this way. And it sounds like it is currently raining outside quite a lot. Seems like there's quite a downpour right now. And I think that's what I was about to say. That's enough for this part of the path for now, but as it turns out, it is not. So let me just quickly finish it. Yes, is quite too close. I'm gonna have to decide what I want to do about it. But for now, what I'm gonna do is save so I don't lose my progress if anything happened to me, and then I'm gonna go to the top of the tower and check out how the path is looking so far. And I'd say it looks kinda nice. Definitely makes this part of the base look a lot more finished, although maybe it could have been better if I chose a different design. But I'd say that this one is also good, so now I'm gonna work on that part of the path, which I should be able to finish during this stream. And I've just realized that I didn't have to climb down these stairs. I could have just jumped down into the water. That would have saved me a bit of time. Alright, now I'm going to work on this part of the path. However, before I start working on it, I'm going to quickly blow my nose. There we go. Now I feel a bit better. Now let's focus on the path, which is kind of steep in some areas. So what I think I'm gonna do is uh, have this part be sort of at this level. And I'm once again running out of slips. But anyway, I decided that I was about to say that step, the next step will be anyway, I had to cheat the death a bit because I didn't want to die. Anyway, I was about to say that I was thinking of placing the next step over here, but I don't think that it will be necessary. Let's see, how do I want to handle this? think I'll remove the, or not, I think I'll make the step over here, like so. And the next step over here, which brings me over to this height. And I think I'm going to make these trees a bit taller. And as you can see, I've put that there is another entrance here as well. By the way, I must say that planning things live on stream like this is not a good idea for me. But maybe if I do it more often, I'm gonna get better at it. And I'm out of slabs once again. And there's only about 15 minutes of the stream remaining. So I think for the end of the stream, I'm going to finish the baths and then start working on like clearing away the dirt and the blocks inside where the buildings will be. And for that, I'm gonna craft. Oh, I was about to say that I'll craft a pickaxe, but I think I'm gonna do it later. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put away the dirt while I'm here, or at least some of it. I might say I've got quite a lot of dirt, which means that I'll be able to do quite a lot of landscaping in the future if I need to. And of course the pickaxe broke when I still have a few more blocks remaining. That was quite annoying. Could have lost at least a few more blocks. So I'm gonna craft 2 so I have a spare. And of course I didn't take enough sticks to craft 2. Now let's see, how do I want to handle the path over here? Well, I think I'm gonna first base it on this part. So C2 blocks. I should have. Alright, so like I think I'm gonna do it like this with the steps in these places, since I don't really have enough space to make it to make the slope kind of more gradual. This means that the next step for this path will be over here and over here. Yeah. Wait, is that correct? Yeah, it is correct. Good. Anyway, this path took quite a long time, but thankfully will be soon finished. Anyway, as you can see, I kind of forgot about this path. Or this part of the path. So that's something else that's also left to finish. Seems like there is a thunderstorm going outside, but it's probably not that close since it's not. Well, I can't hear rain anymore, so it should be fine. Besides, the stream won't go on for that much longer. I feel like this part of the path looks kind of weird. I might change it up a bit to make it look better, since I feel like the path takes up a lot of area over here, and there isn't a lot of greenery, so I might do something about it later. We'll see. That's something to do off stream, since I won't be able to, won't have the time for it right now. And we have think the path should be finished now. So let me just check if I've done everything that I wanted to. So let's see over here if everything seems fine. I'm just missing some torches. Also, you may notice that I've also got a cobblestone over here. That's because I was planning to sort of connect this path, or I was thinking of connecting this path over to that place, but I haven't really properly decided on how I would do it or if I would want to do it. Anyway, this part of the path seems fine as well. All blocks seem to be in. Nothing is missing. I was about to note that I'm missing like the stone blocks in this part, but that's kind of because I can't place them there. Or I think I'll modify this part so that I got the stone blocks in there. That way things remain consistent. I feel like this is better now. So now for the next part of the path. Let's see, this looks good. Here as well. And seems like this part is finished as well. So now for the last part. And also we've already hit 2 hours, but I think I'll go a bit over time since I feel like I haven't done that much progress. And it seems like I've missed a part of the path over here. So what I'm gonna do is remove some dirt in here to make this tree a bit taller. And then make a bit of a staircase up. See how do I want to handle it. I think I should have probably kept the stone. Let's see. Here. This will be a step. And there we go. I believe with that the path is finished. So now I'm gonna craft myself another shovel and then do a bit of digging to finish off the stream. I think I'll go like 15 minutes overtime maybe. Or at least until this day ends. Now let's see. I'm gonna first work on this part, which I'm gonna level so that it'll be all this height. Oh, so the floor will be at this height. Also, one of the things that I'm planning to do for these buildings is to have the roof, this is the word I was looking for, make the roof out of grass and have like some plants at the top and maybe some other things. I was also thinking like of connecting them with bridges, but I'm not sure if I'll go ahead with that. Which just reminds me that I wanted to place a path between these two buildings. I can't speak. I wish Indev had the sort of animal panicking thing, so that the animals would like run away whenever you hit them. That way that they wouldn't get into your way as much. And now the paths are finished. I won't be placing a path over there because, as I said, that's a cactus farm, so there won't be an entrance at the back of it. And it seems like it is raining outside again. Alright, it's the first building dug out. Now for the second one, which will be easier. And of course I forgot to make this path here, and here I thought that I was already finished. I guess I'm blind. This also means that I was digging out the floor at the wrong height. It should be this height. But thankfully I got quite a lot of dirt from digging out the other places, or the other building. Although now that I think about it, I shouldn't have done that. Because like there'll be like cactus on somewhere in this building, which means that below it will be the water streams. So part of this building will, well, basically there will be a sort of a hole where the water will be, so I shouldn't have dug it out like that. But anyway, now for this building where the chests will be, I think the floor level will be here. But I want to place the dirt in here since I need to remove the grass when I'll be doing the floor, since I want to have like a custom floor and not walk on grass. You know what? Oh, as I've said a few times before, I thought that this project would be easier, but it seems that I was, well, it was a bit more annoying than I thought it would be, since I haven't planned this build too much, or I haven't put enough thought into this. Now let's see, where do I want the floor level to be? Because as you can see, I can put it at several levels. I can put it at this level. I can put it at this level, which is a bit lower. And there are also these two paths, which kind of go higher. So I think I'm gonna check it out from the tower to see how I'd like the building to look. Okay, I don't think the tower has helped, but I think I can use something else to decide where I want the floor to be. Let's see if I have floor at this level and this level as well. I think one of the floors will be at this level. I'll have sort of two floors because this place is like for storing the saplings. So my idea is that I'll have some saplings at this level and some saplings at this level. I think that will be the best. But for now I'm gonna dig away all of this dirt so that I can decide how I want it to look later. Because I could kind of keep the grass in place. Or not, I think I'll clear it away a bit later. I would also want to say that I could keep the grass in place because I will need to put it back in again later, but I decided that it would be better to clear out the grass. That way it's easier for me to plan things. But anyway, the stream is now almost 2 hours and 15 minutes long, so I feel like, well, I'll end it now. I feel like that's enough for now. And I feel like, as for when it comes to the progress, this stream wasn't all that great. I feel like I have done a lot less progress than I expected, and I also blew up some of my trees, which is quite annoying because they take a lot of effort to grow. So yeah, this stream wasn't that great. As for the next stream, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'll see how much progress I get on displays off stream. Maybe I'll work on it in the next stream depending on how much progress I make. And if there's no progress to be made in here, then I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Maybe work on the dock area that I plan to have over here. Maybe I could build a ship. You know, I plan for the dock area to kind of extend over here. Maybe I could also work on a lighthouse that I plan to place over there, kind of. Which might not, which now that I think it probably doesn't make sense logically, but I think it should be fine. Anyway, we'll see what I'm gonna do in the next stream, but for now I'd say I've done enough. So I'll be seeing you in the next one.